Hi, welcome back to the channel Tarot Yogi. I'm Vinit. I read tarot intuitively, and today we're doing another timeless pick a card reading on what is your current reputation or what is your reputation whenever you're watching this, right? So we have 3 piles to choose from. Pile number 1, we have Freya. Pile number 2, we have Lilith. Pile number 3, we have Ishtar. So take a minute, see what pile is being called to you intuitively, and the description box will have the timestamp below for your pile. And if you would like to reach out for a private reading, my email address and my Instagram handle is given in the description box below. And I know a lot of y'all have been reaching out for private readings, and I'm very grateful for that. Just be a little patient till I reply to everyone on email. So yeah, just be a little patient. I'll try to get back to everyone as much as I can. And again, this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. And I'll see you guys in your reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose the Freya card, this is going to be a reading on what is your current reputation. So what I'm picking up right away with the Freya card is you're definitely known as someone who is not afraid of doing what needs to be done to get what you need. You know, you're not sort of afraid to go the extra mile here. You know, so I think people are really talking about your work ethic here. And you know, Freya is the goddess of, she's basically known for lowering her standards to get what she needs, because she understands that sometimes acquisition is important. So people are definitely talking about your ambitions right now and what you are sort of currently pursuing. And I think your reputation, and again, this is just what people are saying, it doesn't mean it's true. You know, people are sort of saying that you're trying to fit into shoes that are too big for you, but I don't think that is the case, you know, because Freya is definitely the warrior goddess. So you're definitely showing up as someone who's ready to do what it takes, what needs to be done in order to get what you need. You know, so you're definitely showing up as a warrior goddess here. We'll shuffle some tarot and get more info. What is pile number 1's reputation here? Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, ascended masters, help me tap into what is pile number 1's reputation. What is pile number 1's current reputation? Okay. One more card. One more card, spirit. Okay, these are too many. Just one more. Spirit, thank you. This is popping out. So we have the Magician, 8 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, Queen of Swords, 5 of Wands, 7 of Swords, and 6 of Cups. So first things first, pile number 1, if you don't already know this, you are a very powerful manifester here. You know, you have great abilities to manifest, and you're definitely showing up as someone who's also very wise. It's almost like your experiences have taught you to know better at this point in your life. And despite your ability to manifest things quickly, because we have the Magician below the 8 of Wands, you know, so that is very, very powerful. So I think your manifestations are coming in much quicker than you even realize. So what Spirit is really saying right now for you to do is be very careful about what you're thinking about, you know, because you're sort of manifesting your thoughts, your feelings, and your words right now. So be very careful about even the kind of songs you're singing, you know, so make sure the kind of songs that you're singing out loud are aligning to your highest purpose or what you need, you know, because despite your strong abilities to manifest, I think you are getting confused. I think sometimes you realize it's your manifestations and sometimes you realize it's not, or sometimes you think it's not, you know. So I'm also picking up a lot of imposter syndrome here within you, And I think you're very diligent here, pile number one. You definitely dot your T's and cross your I's here. But you're so enmeshed in your own being that you don't realize that the past is sort of over here. And I definitely see the Wheel of Fortune, and so I think you're definitely going through a very strong and a very important transition in your life right now. And I think your manifestation abilities, you definitely have your abilities here for a reason, and you really need to use your abilities to maximize the results that you need over here. Because regardless, you're showing up here as the Nine of Pentacles. So despite everything that you've gone through, we'll get into that. Despite everything that you've gone through, you still seem very unfazed, and at least that's how you come off to people. You definitely come off as someone who's not bothered, and this is the best way to be right now. Because just keep yourself in a higher vibration. But I think the only issue with you, pile number one, here is you're just too caught up in your head. You're just overthinking and analyzing things way too much, and you're not allowing yourself to feel things. I think that is the biggest problem here with you, pile number one. I think everything is on track. You're very much on alignment, but despite that, you're very much caught in your head. And I get it, a lot of things are external circumstances here, things you cannot control. But there are a lot of things you can control and do. And what I'm seeing here for your past is, I see definitely a lot of conflict. I see a lot of betraying, backstabbing, a lot of deceitful behavior. Most likely you were probably dealing with a narcissist, and that just had brought a lot of conflict into your life here. And I think you're finally coming out of that. But what Spirit is even saying about that is, you need to feel your feelings here, pile number one. You cannot escape. There is no bypassing your healing process here. I get it. You want to be on the move. You want to be on the go. You definitely want to manifest and create the life for yourself that you finally deserve now after completing all these karmic cycles. I get it. But the only way for you to efficiently manifest is through feeling your feelings and going back to a time in your life where you were actually happy about your past before the shit hit the fan. You need to sort of acknowledge your older self here and give love to your older self here, and know that you didn't know any better, and you did the best you could in the given circumstance and situation. Because over here, definitely, the only way for you to manifest in the most efficient way is through your emotional body here, and I feel you're not very much in touch with your emotional body, and you have sort of become this Queen of Swords here. You've become very cold, and I get it. You're very, very guarded right now, and you need to be. I think your circumstances are such. You definitely have a lot of haters around you. There are a lot of people preying on your downfall. I'm definitely picking that up here. But you need to know that not all battles you have to fight alone. Sometimes it's okay to ask for help. You could be any of my fixed signs, Scorpio, Taurus. I'm definitely picking up a lot of Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. But you need to understand that, you also need to understand that you need to be patient during these very challenging transitional times. I feel currently you're under judgment, even though we don't have the judgment card. But you need to understand that you have to give yourself the time and the space. And in the meantime, while things are happening for you behind the scenes, because I definitely see your spirit guides and ancestors are working very hard over here to get what you deserve, and it's coming to you, pile number one. But what you need to do right now is really reflect on the past in a way that you can be free of it. I definitely am picking up here that a lot of the people that you thought you could trust, a lot of the people that you really thought had your back, are the ones who backstabbed you here. You really were not. You were sort of caught off guard here. You really were not expecting to be backstabbed here by the people that have backstabbed you, and that is the reason you feel stuck in your head and you feel a little cold towards everyone now. But you need to come to a place and realize that there is a reason you have all these haters, and they're definitely intimidated by your abilities to manifest and get what you want and what you need and what you desire. And what I'm picking up here also is people don't exactly see the amount of diligence and hard work you put into your daily effort and practice that you do, whatever you're doing over here. People definitely don't see the struggle that you face over here, just to get things off the ground, and they finally see the final product, and they definitely are very jealous, because it's you are sort of everything this hater in your life wants. But you need to keep striving and moving forward, because you're definitely showing up here as a very powerful, magical being. You need to pay attention to birds around you, especially crows and ravens. They're definitely messengers to you of some kind. I think your ancestors and your angels are definitely trying to speak to you here. But what is really being called of you here is to have some patience. And in terms of your reputation, people are really talking about how cold you have become because of the certain things you've gone through in the past, because of the certain backstabbing, betrayal from your ex-lovers, friends, even family members for some of y'all here, and people definitely are talking about how you're not as conflicted as you used to be here. You're not as contradictory as you used to be, and you finally let go of things, and you are pursuing what needs to be pursued in your life here. You're definitely taking the diligent steps you need to take to get where you need to go over here. So it's all positive stuff, except you have these 1-2 haters in your life, and let me tell you, it's important to have haters, because it means that you're doing something right. It's just petty jealousy. It's nothing serious. I'm not picking up anything super vindictive, But I definitely see someone has hurt your heart here, and you are having issues with just trust. You just don't know whom you can trust here, and that is creating a lot of confusion for you. So what Spirit is really saying is, you really need to ground yourself here. But I think what people are also talking about here is your finances. People are talking about how your finances will change, because they will. I feel you have a lot of abundance coming in, and people can definitely see that. People can see the proof is in the pudding here. Spirit is saying proof is in the pudding and devil is in the detail. So just know whoever has backstabbed you here is definitely getting the karma sooner than you think. But you need to get out of your head here, pile number 1, because you have everything it takes to get what you want and what you need. And I think what is also happening with you right now is you've gone through some sort of spiritual awakening, and you're not completely your older self, and you're not exactly your new self completely yet. You're in the early stages of being your new self and letting go of the older self here. So you need to be gentle during this time of resurrection, because you're sort of waking up your old cosmic soul here. You're sort of aligning yourself to your north node and what you are meant to do in this life. And only when you start following your north node will the abundance that you need will come in. And it will come in faster than you think. It will definitely come in much, much faster than you think over here. All you have to do is be patient and take one day at a time, is what Spirit is saying here. You need to really take one day at a time. But people are definitely talking about how you're on a come up here, and that's great. You are being finally seen for who you are, and people are not projecting the insecurities onto you. I know it can be very, very frustrating here, pile number 1. People are also talking about how you have sort of changed your circumstances. You've sort of learned to make the best situation for yourself out of your circumstances here, and you're really playing your part very well. You're doing what you're asked to do here, and even your spirit guides and your angels are coming through over here, and they're saying that they're very, very proud of you here, because you are obedient. You may procrastinate a little, but you're very, very obedient, and you take what needs to be done over here very seriously. Your spirit guides love your obedience here. They're definitely also asking you to listen more than you are, because sometimes I think you switch off here often with people, and sometimes you never know, you may really get something important out of these small conversations, you know. We'll pull some oracle. What is pile number one's reputation here? What is pile number one's reputation here? Okay, we have 3 cards. The Lotus, vulnerability, heart chakra. Okay, so if there is a way to fast track your growth, it is by being real with your shadowy or unloved parts of yourself. Shadows can be painful or tender to touch. Sensitivity can be a trigger that shows us where we might want to spring clean some of our darker, forgotten, ignored, and hidden corners. Accepting a shadow is the first stage in restoring ourselves to wholeness in self-love. Peel back the layers where there is shame, guilt, or fear, and bring them into daylight. Under a loving and a compassionate light, they will resolve and re-assimilate, reminding us that on the flip side of the coin, these are our superpowers. So I'm like I said, you know, I'm definitely picking up some betrayal and backstabbing energy here. You know, you're probably dealing with a deceptive narcissist in your life. You know, for a lot of y'all, this is romantic. For others, it's not, you know, but whoever this person was who deceived you, you really were not expecting this. And what Spirit is really saying here is, I get it, you're very, very angry. I totally understand how you feel, and you want justice, and it will come to you. It really will come to you. But what you need to do is you need to not hold resentment. You know, because you're definitely holding on to a lot of resentment that is not aiding you in your own growth here. You know, that is what is stopping your manifestations from really coming in here. And the only way is through. You have to feel your feelings, and you need to realize that you are an empath, and I get it, you know, a big part of being an empath is you absorbing other people's energies, but you need to be able to finally discern what is others' feelings and what are your feelings, and really separate that and come back into yourself and center yourself, right? And just acknowledge and just shift the way you look at your vulnerability, because your vulnerability is really your superpower here. You know, not everyone has the ability to be vulnerable. You would be surprised as to how many people actually can't be vulnerable, you know. So it's definitely a gift you need to use here, which you are sort of avoiding here, because I get it, you know, you need to use your triggers as a way for your spiritual breakthroughs here. You cannot run away from your triggers anymore, is what your spirit guides are saying. Also, her crown chakra is really open here, her crown and her throat. So you're getting a lot of downloads here. Pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to signs, synchronicities, songs. Your spirits are definitely talking to you in whichever way they can to you. You may be seeing a lot of symbols when you're just going out. So pay attention to that. And what Spirit is really saying here is, you need to communicate your truth. You need to communicate your truth to be free of it. And it's only in the release that you will find the peace that you need. And always remember, you need to forgive this person, not for them, but for yourself. So the resentment doesn't block you and your heart chakra. The second card is the heart chakra. This card taps into the blissful oneness we feel as we drop our edges and protective containers. This is the place where we feel held and seen enough to flow into oneness, where the eternal part of me meets the eternal part of you. This is the selfless state where our higher selves commune for illuminating perspective on how we share a gift and lift others in a joyful overflow. Consider your life purpose by exploring what allows you to give in joy. So like I said, you know, I think you have a very spiritual path here, pile number one, whether you see it or not. And often it's not always about love and light. You have to go into the darker parts. And I think that's what Freya over here is symbolizing for you, you know. Freya is not someone who's afraid of going into the underworld to get what she wants. You know, she's still a goddess of war and battle and magic, you know. So you're definitely, some of y'all, again, you know, some of y'all may practice cedar magic over here. Again, it's a general reading, you know, I'm not saying everyone does, but some of y'all are definitely practicing cedar magic here, and you are sort of getting in your own way here, and you need to know that you're really protected and guided. Even if you were in situations before where you felt that you were not safe, that is not the case anymore. You know, you're definitely meant to follow your life path over here, and you will come into a natural place of understanding how it's not just about you. You know, I think your path is also about a lot of other people that you will be ascending with and for, and you have completely compartmentalized yourself, and you have sort of shut yourself out from the world, and it's okay to do that for a time being. But what Spirit is saying here is you have to sort of get back into society, because a lot of part of your spiritual work is to sort of go away into the forest, come back as an enlightened shaman and give to the world. Even the Buddha, after his enlightenment, taught for 40 years, you know. So I think that is going to resonate for someone out there. You know, you definitely need to understand that it's not just about you, you know, and not in a selfless way, but in the selfless way, in the way that your ascension is linked to a lot of people, and it's only in helping others ascend will you ascend here. And the third card is vulnerability. So, you know, you could identify with dragons. You may see a lot of dragonflies. Pay attention to that. When we are truly honest with ourselves in all our facets, we are vulnerable. The honesty is an important step in discovering our shadow and bringing them into our light for healing. When we share our vulnerabilities with others, we allow them to glimpse a deeper part of ourselves. Be vulnerable with yourself and others. It may be a time to step into the role of a healer and hold space. Holding space means being fully present without judgment in a way that provides a safe and a nurturing environment. Here, guards are dropped, a deeper level of awareness and relating can unfold, and profound healing can take place. So like I said, you have a very special path, and I think you're finally in a place to understand why things have happened in your life the way they have. And you're definitely some kind of healer. Like I was saying, you know, you definitely have some kind of spiritual path, and you're meant to be a healer of some kind in this life. So you need to tap into those healing abilities of yours by first healing yourself. And that will only happen if you do the shadow work needed. You know, you can definitely check out the shadow work reading on the channel. That was the first reading I ever posted. So definitely do the shadow work you need to do here, so you can be free of it. Because your gifts are being blocked over here. And coming back to your reputation, I think people know how far you can go, and they see that, you know, you've just sort of started to tap into your potential, but even right now you're sort of blocking yourself. And the only way for you to get out of this in a successful way is to feel your feelings, is to go through the dark night of the soul here that, you know, is sort of impending on your head here. And I feel a lot of this is just residual. You know, I think you've done most of the work. Yeah, so that's all I have for pile number 1. Again, this is a general reading. Take what resonates and leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like the video, share, subscribe, comment. And if you would like to reach out for a private reading, my email ID and my Instagram is given in the description box below. I'll see you guys in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose the Lilith card, this is going to be a reading on what is your reputation currently. So, you know, obviously we have Lilith, so, you know, need I say more, right? So people are definitely talking about the recent glow up you've had. You know, you've definitely had a glow up, not just physically, but also emotionally and spiritually. And I think this is not going down well with a lot of people who used to take advantage of you, because you're not allowing them the same way that you used to allow them to just sort of walk over you. And I'm picking up here is that people have definitely taken your kindness for weakness, so to speak here, you know. And I feel And I feel this is a pattern in your life. Whenever that happens, you almost get your inner Lilith just sort of wakes up, and I think this is a good thing, because people sort of underestimate you here. People just don't understand the complete depth and the complexity and contradiction that you are, and just how beautifully you still flow into that. And I think this really confuses a lot of people, because they've never really dealt with anyone like you. So people are definitely talking about your transformation. You could be a Scorpio, but people are definitely villainizing you here, pile number 2. People, and I think all this villainizing has nothing to do with who you are actually, but I think this is a lot to do with people and their own shadows that they do not want to heal from and confront and make peace with. And I think you do have a very strong sensual side to you. I'm picking up a very siren energy, and I'm also hearing Dream Girl Evil, like by Florence, in my head. So people are definitely villainizing you in a way that fits their narrative, where they're not the bad person, even though they are probably the bad person. And people are definitely talking about your power. People are talking about how you do what it takes, what needs to be done. You have a very unshakable spirit. You definitely have a warrior spirit here. People are definitely talking about that, especially people who've known you in the past that you haven't been in touch with so much lately. People can definitely see that. People can see your transformation. It's very visible. And I think you're just coming into your power now. You haven't even reached your peak yet, pile number 2. Okay, so we'll pull some tarot and ask Spirit, what is the reputation of pile number 1? What is the reputation of pile number 1? What is pile number 1's reputation here? Too many cards. Okay, take that. Okay, so we have the Moon, the Magician, King of Swords, Queen of Coins, the Fool, Hermit, 5 of Cups, 5 of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Knight of Cups. And below the deck we have Strength. So your reputation is that you're very mysterious. You're very, very mysterious, and I think you are someone who shows off your spirituality here. So people are definitely talking about your spirituality, and you're definitely also moving in silence. And what people are saying is you've probably, and if this is an ex of yours, they're definitely saying that you've put something on them, which I don't think is the case. If at all, it may be the other way around. They may have put something on you. They may have done some rubbish magic, which doesn't even work on you really, because you're actually very protected here. So people are talking about how you're an excellent communicator, and you have a reputation to not be messed around with. So to speak here, you're showing up as the King of Swords, and people are talking about the new beginnings in your life that you have sort of embarked on. People are also talking about how you prefer to be to yourself, how you keep to yourself with the Hermit card, People are also talking about your wisdom here. And firstly, hello. We have the Magician, the High Priestess, and the Hermit. So you're definitely a spiritualist. You're either a tarot reader on YouTube, or you read tarot, or you're a Reiki master, or a yoga teacher, or you do something in spirituality for sure. You're deeply intuitive and highly psychic, pile number 2. And I think right now your psychic gifts are at an all-time high. You could be a Scorpio, you could be a Virgo, could be a Taurus, Capricorn, Cancer, Pisces. Also, people are talking about, if you haven't already come into money, just know you're coming into money, and your manifestations are coming in. And I think it is your haters who are talking about this, because they sort of know the abundance that you're coming into. Even though they may downplay you and say horrible things about you, they definitely see you for who you are, and they're very, very intimidated here. I'm seeing a lot of heartbreak and disappointments and conflict in your past, and I'm seeing how you have sort of taken time away to resolve these things for yourself and look within. So Spirit is really proud of you for doing that here. You could be very much into your books and your studies right now. You could be very much into your introspection, and just because you're so into what you're into right now, and you're not engaging with people the same way that you used to, and that is why people are like sort of speculating as to what you are doing and what you are up to and what will be your next move. Because people are just so invested in your life. Like, I'm sure they have very boring lives if they're so invested in talking about you and just being a goss, being a bitchy gossiper that they are. But people definitely, your reputation is that despite all the heartbreak, disappointment, conflicts, circumstances, despite everything that you've been through, you still are the Queen of Coins. You are someone who's still very, very lush, abundant, very bountiful, and people are definitely talking about the new beginnings you have embarked upon. So this could be something new. You may have changed your career. You may have decided to study something different. You're doing something new, or you're being called to do something new here. So this is a confirmation for someone out there who is wishing to do something new here and they haven't exactly taken the step. Please take the step, because again, what I'm picking up here is if this was a love situation, and you were betrayed, backstabbed by a deceitful narcissist, you have the right lover coming in for you also. But I feel this will only happen when you start walking into your destiny. So Spirit is really encouraging you to start walking into your life path over here. And I think you already are. I think what you have been doing till now, you have been completing some huge, very big karmic cycles, and I think you're also just crying randomly in the day, and you're not able to fathom vibe. And I think that is happening because you're sort of releasing a lot of ancestral curses also. It is through you. I think you are being the vessel here. You're definitely a very strong medium, psychic, a vessel, a channeler of some kind. And I think your psychic gifts are heightening right now for a reason. And the reason is to follow your life path. I think what you're being called to do right now is pile number 2. You need to not follow logic right now. You need to just follow your intuition, because your inner compass is on point. Your intuition is on point right now, and you are being guided through this very, I would say, rather perilous time in your life. But know that even though you may feel very, very alone, you feel no one understands you, and I don't think anyone actually understands you here, pile number 2, because also just know that what you are going through, most people will only go through this after like a few 100 lifetimes. So you're definitely very evolved and like an old soul over here. But just know that all of this has a reason, and you are ascending. And I think your life purpose is not just about you. It's much bigger than you. You are some kind of spiritualist here. You're meant to be in the public eye. You're meant to preach. You're meant to communicate here. You are the King of Swords. So I think what Spirit is really saying right now is strategize your every move in silence, take the necessary steps, and I think you will know when to do what, because you're so guided right now. So this is definitely the powerful bunch here, pile number 2. I think the full moon will be very important for you. So and I think your spirit guides are also saying that you are a lunar witch of some kind, so you need to work closer to the moon cycles. And Lilith is sort of the black moon, right? And you need to integrate your shadows, because there is a lot of things coming out of your unconscious and your subconscious right now. And I feel this is not just to do with your traumas in this life. I think this is a lot of purging of traumas from your past life. You may have a lot of important, significant planets in the 12th and the 8th house in your natal chart. But you need to be alone right now. And keep being alone, be a recluse for a while. You need to be alone, because the answers you need will come when you are alone, when you are in meditation, or when you're doing something spiritual, where you're connecting to spirit. And I what Spirit is also saying here is, I know this is a reading about your reputation, and we are sort of speaking about that, but what Spirit is really saying for you, pile number 2, is you really need to be alone right now and not really care about what other people are saying or thinking about you, because you are right and everyone is sort of wrong over here. And the answers you need, you will only find within. The validation, and I think a lot of y'all also want love right now. You may be very triggered with your own shadows, and I feel what I'm picking up here is you may have been in a lot of relationships, or you may have not been in so many relationships, but you were sort of gaslit into believing you were the problem, but you were never the problem here, pile number 2. It was definitely the deceitful narcissist that you were dealing with, and you need to also come into a place of understanding what that person has sort of really taught you here, so you can really be free of it. But you definitely have a lot of voices in your head that aren't true, and I think when you start rationalizing those horrible thoughts and feelings, you will realize it's not actually true, and who you are is a beautiful, stable person who just has so much love to give. You're definitely a giver here, pile number 2. People are definitely talking about how much of a giver you are. You could also identify as a starseed. I'm picking up a lot of starseed energy here, like Arcturian and Pleiadian and Orion. You may also identify with having a past life in Lemuria. Again, it's a very specific message for someone, not for everyone, so take what resonates. But you need to just really manifest and pay attention to what is happening around you, and you really need to tune into your finer senses, because you are very powerful. You are showing up as a magician and the high priestess and the king of swords, so there is a reason for your spirituality and your depth, and you're meant to communicate it in this lifetime. You have some sort of job in the public eye. I feel a lot of y'all do have YouTube channels. Very powerful. But Spirit is saying take one step at a time, and to fill into your cup before you fill into others, because you're always going to have to be this giver, and you sort of always have to be the person that has to fix themselves and fix others. I think a lot of people aren't even used. I think a lot of times, even when you ask help, pile number 2, people don't know how to help you because you are the helper here. And my heart goes out to you. I know what that's like, because people sort of typecast you into being one way or the other. But no, none of this actually matters, and you're not alone. You definitely have your angels, your spirit guides guiding you through this very important chapter in your life. And you need to communicate more. You really, really, really need to communicate more. And your crown chakra is very, very active right now. Your crown chakra is very, very active. You're getting a lot of downloads. Pay attention to your dreams, signs, synchronicities. You're very, very guided right now. So just pay attention and do what needs to be done. But because you are very, very powerful, and I think people are also talking about the reputation over here is to not mess with you, because I think people know that if they mess with you, they'll get instant karma. And they probably think you do some sort of weird black magic, but I don't think you do any kind of black magic here. You may definitely practice magic, and a lot of y'all are into the occult here, These are my people. So, pile number 2, you're definitely someone I would want to hang out with. But just know that you're very, very safe. So if you're feeling insecure, just don't. And we're using a purple deck here. So like I said, your upper chakras, your crown chakra, your throat chakra, and your third eye, it's opening now. You're definitely going through some deep spiritual awakenings, and it can be rough. I know, I get it. Shuffle some oracle. Any more advice, message for pile number 2? Too many cards. Okay, I'll take this, and we'll take this. Take 4 cards. So we have endless opportunities, Mount Shasta, gracious receptivity, and water. It's wonderful to have freedom to choose. However, sometimes indecision can be almost suffocating. So get into your body and let your gut feeling guide your way. What am I talking about? Your intuition here, man. You have options and opportunities you may not have realized. The universe wants to give you what you want. It's all there, so reach out wholeheartedly and choose it. While you sit on the fence, your experiences are diluted or confusing. We live in a time of choices. Sometimes reason and limitations direct our choices and we feel unfulfilled as a result. Choose life from a place of heart, compassion, integrity, and you can't go wrong. So I feel you're owed a lot of abundance and a lot of generational wealth here. And it wants to come to you. It's almost finding you. You know, everything that you're desiring is also desiring you here, pile number 2. Please remember that. But you have to pay attention to your gut. And I think your gut feeling is the first subtle feeling that you have. It's not the second loud feeling. You know, it's that very first feeling before the questioning arises. You know, so you really need to, I think you need to just cut out as many people, music, external stimulation that you can and really sit with yourself. I feel only then will these opportunities come to you, and you're sort of stuck on making a decision and taking this leap of faith. And this is a confirmation for you to take this leap of faith right now. You're really being called to walk into your destiny path here. And only when you start doing that will opportunities really start coming to you here. Mount Shasta. And like I was saying, you know, you could identify as a Lemurian starseed. So where Lemuria would be destroyed, its people traveled to other parts of the globe. Mount Shasta was one of the places they journeyed. There are tales of unusual phenomenon and multidimensional beings living inside the mountain. This card is about origins and the image is the seed crystal this deck is based around. Honor and look more deeply into your ancestry, both your bloodline and your etheric lineage. Do you have an affinity with any star beings? Connecting with them might allow you greater insight into your traits, your strengths, your challenges. The sacred places you feel attracted to may have an intuitive message for you. So I'm definitely getting goosebumps. So you're definitely my star seeds. You're definitely my very strong spiritual gang here. And you may be called to go to certain places. You may want to go into the mountains. You may want to go near the ocean. It may be very different for everyone. You know, it's a general reading. So go to a place you're being called to and just be there quietly, you know. And it is just being in nature that you will naturally heal and get the answers and insights you need here. Gracious receptivity. Like, it's all synchronistic, right? If there were a manual for optimal human experiences, we'll take that as confirmation. If there were a manual for optimal human experience, one of the most potent points would be gratitude. It is the backbone of all spiritual practice. When we shift our perspective from what we are lacking, needing, and desiring, we temporarily replace survival factor with resonance for thriving. Giving and receptivity is a two-way flow. Each allows space for the other. Gratitude, self-love, and self-worth are interwoven with your capacity to receive. Together, they nourish your soul. Step into your heart space by listing all the things that you're grateful for, and notice how full you start to feel. From here, your gifting capacity can spiral upward. So like I said, you know, I was saying all these things already, right? You are a giver. And you just have pure love. And people are definitely talking about how you love. You know, I think these are a lot of your exes, people that you're not very much in touch with, people whose lives that you just touched for a season. You know, you're sort of meant to transform other people. You're meant to touch people's lives in a way and make people who think over what they feel, you know, people who are more head over their heart. You make these kind of people feel, you know. So you're very, very, and you are the blessing here. So, you know, if someone has messed up with your sense of self-worth, they're not doing very well, by the way. And you need to come back into realizing that you are the shit, pile number 2. You are really the shit here. And every time you sort of, and I really feel this is your penance here, and every time you sort of feel lack, just start being really grateful. Start being grateful and it will just shift your vibration. And another thing Spirit is really saying is, every time you have to approach a task, don't say you have to do it. Say you want to do it. And just see how the whole energetic charge around you wanting to do an activity shifts. And it's only by allowing yourself grace can you love other people. You know, so I think right now you definitely have new love coming in soon. But before that, what you're being really called to do is integrate your own shadow and really give yourself the love that you have been giving other people. You know, maybe you have been giving so much love to other people because this is the way you want to be loved here. And you haven't exactly gotten that. So I think it's high time you start giving yourself the love that you need. And we have water. So the being in the picture has many hands, and yet water falls through her fingers. It blesses her in the moment it touches her radiant skin and continues on the journey. Like I was saying, you know, you do have a flow. Her heart is also overflowing with love. Her eyes are filled with tears. She gracefully allows what comes through to move her without control. Aligned with purpose, she is overjoyed to give from this limitless space. She radiates so much light into the world. Give more from a place of overflow than obligation. Even when we think we have nothing to give, coming from a mindset of overflow creates more of what we want. So I think that is very, very self-explanatory. And right now you just need to pour into yourself. Right now you really just need to take care of yourself, your needs, and nourish yourself thoroughly. So you can, you know, I think a lot of people do put you on a pedestal, and I think people are definitely talking about that. And you will only be able to truly give selflessly if you first give yourself selflessly, you know. And I think somewhere you have forgotten. People have made you forget. I think all these gaslighting narcissists in your life have just made you forget what giving yourself love is. And you're really being called to do that. And you definitely have abundance and new love coming in here. This is actually a very, very positive reading in my eyes, pile number 2. I'm very happy, excited, and just I really relate to you, pile number 2. Yeah. So again, this is a general reading. Take what resonates. And if you like my style of reading, please like the video, share, subscribe, comment. And if you would like to reach out for a private reading, my email ID and my Instagram handle is given in the description box below. And I'll see you guys in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the Ishtar card, this is going to be a reading on what is your current reputation. So if you know you chose the Ishtar card, so people are definitely talking about how attractive you have gotten recently and just how resilient you have been. I think you were a people pleaser in the past, and I think you have finally come into a place where you don't really care anymore. You're not afraid of ruffling some feathers to speak your truth here, so to speak. And what I'm really picking up here with the Ishtar card is you are being called. This is probably a very challenging time in your life right now, and not in a negative way. I think everything that is happening for you and not to you here. You're under judgment in the very positive kind of light, and people are definitely talking about how much of a go-getter you are. You could be a Leo, you could be a Capricorn, you could have any of those placements in your chart. And people are also talking about your intensity. You know, I think naturally you are a very polarizing figure, pile number 3, and either people will love you or people will hate you. And I think you have struggled a lot in understanding this projection of others, because you know you are just sort of yourself here, and you don't have that filter of not being yourself, of watering yourself down. And I feel you may have watered yourself down in a lot of your relationships, but you're coming out of that. You're coming out of just being the prey, because you know you are the predator here, so to speak. You know, Ishtar is known as the goddess of love and war. So you know she definitely has a very dualistic aspect to herself, and she had a lover, Tammuz, who sort of died because of her intensity, and she sort of went into the underworld to rescue him. And at the gates she had to drop each piece of her clothing. So what I'm really picking up with that is you've gone through a lot of things, you've gone through the complexity of life, and you've come to a place where you have finally realized what do you truly want and what do you truly need and what truly matters to you. So you have sort of stripped and bared down to the most fundamental essentials that really define who you are and what you are, and you're sort of coming back into loving yourself and your inner child. You know, so it's a very positive reading here, I would say. Yeah, we'll pull some tarot and see what is your reputation. Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, ascended masters, star family. Help me tap into what is the current reputation of pile number 3. What is being said? Okay, take these. Two more cards, Spirit. Two more cards. So we have Six of Cups, Page of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, the World card, Queen of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Three of Cups, the Death card, Temperance. Give me a minute. So people are definitely talking about the recent glow up you've had. You've really transformed, and I think these are people who are not. I think there are two kinds of people who are sort of talking about you, about your reputation. Yeah, there are people who are genuinely happy for you, people who really, you know, are your idolized. You know, people who have been with you through thick and thin. They're very, very happy, and what they have to say is they're very proud of the transformations you've gone through. They're very happy and proud of the fact that you've completed some very difficult karmic life cycles here. And you know, these are definitely a lot of people from your past, you know, and then there are the negative ones, you know, and I think these are bitter jealous exes or bitter jealous frenemies, or you know, people are just no good basically. And you know, they have a lot to say, and they're sort of saying that, oh, you know, this is not who you truly are. You're sort of projecting and faking this new persona, but I don't think you are. I think you've really put in the work to transform and alchemize your life the way you have pile number 3. You're very, very strong. You're very, very powerful here. And you definitely have your angels overlooking you and guiding you through this very difficult time here. But there are definitely people from your past who are just having some very bitchy things to say, and I think they're very deluded. I think they were not expecting you to leave them or whatever. They always thought that you would be an option to them, and no more are you an option to them, so they're sort of intimidated by that. And these are the kind of people who would say that, you know, they think you're very complicated, but you're not complicated, pile number 3. I think you are very deep. I think you have a beautiful depth to you, and the way you meet yourself in those dark, deep trenches, a lot of people cannot meet themselves, and therefore they don't know themselves the way you know yourself, you know, and it's only because of that they're sort of projecting onto you and calling you complicated and saying that, you know, you're sort of being phony, and I really don't think you're being phony. And again, this is just what people are saying. This is what your reputation is. This is not who you are, because who you are is showing up here as 2 queens. So it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl, you know, you are showing up as someone who is very much in balance with their material and emotional world, despite everything that has occurred in their life here. But people are definitely talking about how you have sort of emerged victorious from a lot of difficult life cycles you've been put into, and a lot of situations that you just had to go through here. And people are definitely talking about your work ethic. People are definitely talking about how diligently you work and how you're sort of investing in the right things. And these are people who love you. These are your friends. Yeah, but I think majority, about your reputation here is about your resilience, your tenacity, your strength, and your ability to transform under any given situation. You could be any of the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or you could have any of those prominent placements. You could be a Sagittarius. Could be a Taurus, Capricorn, Libra. People also, again, this may be for some of you all, people are definitely talking about your religious or your spiritual beliefs if you're very open about them. And more than anything, people are really saying that despite everything you've gone through, you still maintain so much grace and beauty, and you're still so grounded, and you're still that friend that people can go to when they need help. You're definitely a great listener here. People are definitely talking about how much of a great listener you truly are. People are also talking about how you're not afraid of being alone. People are really talking about how much of a lone wolf you are. People are also saying that you may be very, very stubborn here. And I definitely don't see stubbornness as a bad thing if you're being stubborn about the right thing. So it's all about discernment here, and I think you're very discerning. I think you're very, very intelligent, pile number 3. I don't think you're stubborn for the wrong reasons here. And I think these are again the people calling you stubborn. These are the people who cannot emotionally manipulate you anymore. You're just losers. But I think people talking the most about your reputation, these are people from your past. These are people from your past who are sort of seeing you in a very different and a new light. And I think this has a lot to do with the fact that they really thought that you would not be able to move on. They really thought that they could one-up you. They could sort of hit you in your Achilles heel and nothing would happen. But you are like a rising phoenix here. You're very, very powerful. And you need to understand that if you have a group of people attacking you, it means you're really powerful. Otherwise, why would so many people try to attack you here, by number 3? So stand tall, stand tall and stand firm in who you are. Because I think you know yourself more than anyone. And you definitely have your angels, your spirit guides around you all the time. They're very protective right now of you. People are also talking about how much of a balance you've come into. So I think you were very probably loud before. And I don't even think you were loud in a way that you were trying to be loud. It's just, you could be an extrovert. You could just be very lively. You just have a lot of energy that needs to be expressed here. And, it just doesn't go down well with people. But people are saying that the light they're seeing you now is, they definitely see you as someone who's more balanced, who's more in touch with their feelings, their thoughts, and who also has great control over what they say. But I think you're also very witty here, pile number 3. I think you have great comebacks. I don't think anyone can sort of defeat you verbally here. So people are definitely talking about your comebacks. You could like being outdoors a lot. People are definitely talking about that. You could love the beach a lot. Or the mountains, or just open spaces in general. You may like to go hiking, trekking, something along those lines. But people are also talking about how sweet you are. You're still a very sweet, gentle soul beneath all this complexity. Despite having this very complex, deep soul, you still have a very simple way of just going about life. And I think you've brought it down to a science here, pile number 3. I think you're finally in a space where you understand who you are and what your needs are, and you're also very much in touch with your shadow, and you have integrated that very well here. Yeah, you're very self-reliant is what Spirit is saying. And honestly, that's the best way to be. I'm really proud of you, pile number 3, if no one has said that to you. People are definitely talking about how attractive you are. So you've definitely gone through some great glow up. You're probably working out, eating healthy, just pouring into yourself, and it really shows. When you truly pour into yourself, when you're doing things for yourself and not for anyone else, and when your intentions are in the right place, you have a natural glow to you, and it's there. You definitely have a beautiful glow to you right now. And Spirit is saying it's just a start. Pull some oracle. Any additional messages for pile number 3, Spirit? Any additional messages? Any additional messages for pile number 3? Okay, we have 3 cards and they read Star Seer, Star Seed Elemental, and Endless Opportunities. So let's start with Endless Opportunities. It reads, it's wonderful to have the freedom to choose, however, sometimes indecision can be almost suffocating. So get into your body and let your gut feeling guide the way. You have options and opportunities you may not have realized. The universe wants to give you what you want. It's all there, so reach out wholeheartedly and choose it. While you sit on the fence your experiences are diluted or confusing. We live in a time of choices. Sometimes reason and limitation direct our choices and we feel unfulfilled as a result. Choose life from a place of heart, compassion, integrity, and you can't go wrong. So you definitely have a lot of new opportunities, a lot of new gates opening up for you. And you're also very magnetized right now. A lot of people are very attracted to you, and you're also very intuitive. And just know that if you're very intuitive, there's a reason for that. You're meant to use your intuitive gifts here, pile number 3. You know, we have the Queen of Cups. So you're definitely someone who knows. You have a very strong inner compass. You just need to listen to it and pay attention to that. Because my nose is itchy, so confirmation, you know. You're very, very guided here, pile number 3. You definitely have your guardian angels surrounding you at all times. You may just see feathers randomly throughout the day. So this is just confirmation. Star Seer. Have you ever headed towards a specific destination, but instead of being where you ended up, the journey was the catalyst for getting where you were meant to go? Have you ever felt nothing was working out as planned, but then it all came together perfectly? This card depicts intuition as a goddess lifting us to see where we are going and the star she sees in us. What was I saying about your intuition, man? The journey may be not as planned, but the outcome is better than you thought possible. Let the serendipities unfold. Allow space for unexpected opportunities, even when the route is not as direct as you imagine. Listen to your intuition and know you have got this. I mean, this is very self-explanatory, and like I was saying, you're very, very guided right now. You're very, very protected. No one can touch you. No one can touch you. You have a lot of protection and you're very, very much guided right now. So pay attention to your own inner moral compass. It's telling you where you need to go, even though it may not make sense logically. I feel a lot of you are being called to start something new here. You're definitely being called to start something new here. Again, my nose is itchy, so confirmation. I'm also getting that you have the ability to just smell out the bullshit. You can just smell out the narcissists from a mile away. So use that ability. I feel you've had to deal with a lot of people that you had to deal with for a reason here, pile number 3. Use your knowledge. You're very knowledgeable. And you also have access to a lot of ancient knowledge that you need to bring out. And you will as time passes, I feel. Starseed Elemental. Sometimes adulting can become too serious. When this happens, adding curiosity, fun, laughter, and a lighthearted sense of play to our perspective can be the most effective way to rebalance. Facing challenging circumstances with inquisitiveness can bring joy to whatever we are accomplishing. Imagine stepping into a child's shoe and seeing how they perceive the world. If you have a problem, consider how a child might solve it. Humans are evolving, and children can be our wisest teachers. May we nourish their big souls, listen to them with our hearts, and let their ways unveil the fresh new eyes so we may see a whole new world. So like I said, you have gone through some immense, deep transformation, and sometimes you lose the joy. I get it. I really get it, pile number 3. Sometimes, even if you have a wicked sense of humor, things get so dark that you just can't laugh about it anymore. But what Spirit is saying is, you have to laugh about it. And you will only be able to laugh about it when you come into a place where you have genuinely healed. You know, so just focus on healing right now, because and you're being guided and you're aided. I think if a lot of you all have some physical issues, you will be healed very soon. And you're not alone here. Even if you feel you're very alone and no one understands you, you have your spirit team behind you at all times. And what you're really being called of you here is to see the world anew, to really embrace things you would if you were embracing it the first time ever in your life. You know, I'm hearing like a virgin. So, you know, you've definitely had a very strong rebirth here, and I feel a lot of this has to do with you ending negative karmic cycles and moving into the future that is truly destined for you here. And like we were reading in the Starseer card, right? I think pile number 3, I don't have to say much. I think you are finally understanding what your destiny is. I think you are finally in a place where a lot of things that didn't make sense to you, that has just sort of built up over the years, it's all making sense to you all of a sudden, or it will in the future if it hasn't already. You know, so just don't take the logical steps right now, pile number 3. Your logic is your intuition right now, so pay attention to your intuition, because you're being exactly guided to where you need to be. And let me tell you, not everyone is guided. I mean, sure, everyone has spirit teams behind them, but not everyone is guided, and not everyone can be saved. But you are very, very special here, pile number 3, and you have a very special mission. You could very much identify as a starseed. We'll do a starseed reading very, very soon on the channel, so, you know, subscribe for that. But you're being called to really fundamentally look at yourself and break down things in a way to make your life easy. And just know all these challenging times are happening for you and not to you. And if you're not happy in the end, just know it's not the end. It's just challenge. I am genuinely picking up a very happy, optimistic vibe over here. I'm genuinely very happy here. So, you know, you have a beautiful energy to you, pile number 3, and just soak up in your own energy right now. You don't have to give yourself to others. You know, just soak up the goodness that is you. That is what Spirit is saying here, pile number 3. Yeah, so that's all I have. Again, this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like the video, share, subscribe, comment. And if you would like to reach out for a private reading, my email address and my Instagram handle is given in the description box below. And I'll see you guys in your next reading. Thank you.